Greetings and salutations. Okay, come in and sit on my couch for some therapy today. Now, I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and we got to get into some things tonight, today, wherever you're watching from. I want to recap this once again for part two. I want to get into the game, but I also want to get into the dynamics of mother wounds, mirroring, what your mother represents to you, what was mirrored to you, and how you choose and date men. Okay. And then we're going to also get into some Jeannie Mai, talk about her Jeezy divorce and codependency, therapy speak, and misusing therapy speak to justify your actions. Okay. Now, if you are new here, I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm a couples therapist, and I help people heal from parental trauma and how that shows up in your relationship now as an adult. Okay, so hit that like, subscribe to the channel. Okay, now watching part two of this, it's very sad to see Shanice learn about her baby daddy through her mama on his couch. Okay. And I think watching both of these podcasts, it's coming to the surface to me that once again, we are living in a generation of women who are male centered. Okay. You see, Jeannie Mai is older than Shanice, but yet they still do the same thing and justify it in different ways. Now, in this first clip, the game is talking about his relationship with, once again, his baby mama. Okay. And the lack thereof to me is respect for her as a person. All right. And how easy it is for a woman to decide to have a baby with somebody who is emotionally unavailable, physically there, maybe laying it down. But what else is he doing? Okay. And how easy it is for a man to slip out and all the responsibility is laid left on the woman. And let's get into it. You know what? Roll clip real quick. Roll a tape. Roll a tape. Now, Evelyn is asking the game, how would he feel if Shanice decided to marry a year from now? How would he feel about that new man being in his child's life? And the one thing about the game in this interview is his ego led. Okay. Whenever he shows up, whether that's on Spaces, on X, in interviews, the game is present, but the ego. And I think a lot of men lead with ego and a lot of women lead with hurt. A lot of women lead with that attachment style that was mirrored to them that wasn't. And sometimes the things that we need from our parents, our fathers, our mothers, shows up in how we relationship. Okay? So let's get into it.
Year, which is very unlikely because the first, no, I'm not. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. I'm telling you, there's a thing that like soon as someone figures out that like your baby daddy is the game, it gets a little tricky for a man because people think they know who I am, right? And so it gets a little damn. Am I gonna have to like catch a fade with this nigga? I know how he feels about his kids. So is he going, do I really feel like doing it? Yes, you're beautiful. And yes.
Notice how throughout the interview, her mom was laughing. Okay. Hee ha ha. How can you laugh at this man disrespect me? Oh, wait, it's probably because her mama is used to being disrespected herself. All right. And once again, also age comes into place. My baby daddy and my mama connect because they've been around each other, also age things. But recognize how throughout this episode, who is the mama supporting? Okay. Is the mama supporting her child? Or is the mama supporting the baby daddy? And once again, I want y'all to recognize the mirroring here. What is being shown to a daughter about her mother? Do you show up for me the same way you show up for the men's? Because back in the day, on Basketball Wives, dang, the name is not clicking, but her ex-best friend made comments that Evelyn was in the streets while her daughter was at home. Okay. Now, this is not to talk so much about Evelyn's motherhood, but this is also an example of mothering. And I wonder, as much as there's so much heat on the game, what does this show young women about their relationship with their mothers? What does it show you about, damn, I'm sitting here getting to know my baby daddy. I thought I knew him. It's sad that I have to sit up on this platform with my mother laughing and giggling. And at times in the photos for the promo, my mom is sitting so close to him. When this is supposed to be my baby daddy. This is supposed to be the person I had a child with, who I thought was going to show up and be a father. But yet I'm sitting here, probably in some ways dissociating. I'm like, wow, like, damn. Half the things you are saying, I didn't even know. I didn't even know about you. And it's a sad reality to meet this man here where he is now. And I thought I been knew him. I ain't laid up and had a child with him. And the game thinks that he is bigger than the program. Oh, now he figuring out that my child's father, that the father is the game, and now I gotta figure out if I'm gonna have to catch a fade with homie. How old are you? Okay, how old are you? Where is the emotional maturity? Where is the safety on that couch? Where is the safety? Because I feel like I'm seeing once again a child be left behind for the needs of her mother. And we see that so many times, and so many of y'all can relate to being left behind because my mother's needs were bigger than my own. And you're still healing from that shit in a relationship, trying to get to know yourself because the foundation was never set for you to be healthy. The foundation was never set for you of how I'm supposed to show up in this world as a woman. Because my mom was too busy out there in them streets trying to find herself. And most of the time, it probably was in the bed with somebody else. Okay? Now, I'm preaching a little bit too deep, right? But y'all asked for this video.
Yes, I want to be with you, or yes, I love you. But I think that thought process and that courting stage lasts longer than a year. So it definitely won't be next year.
Right.
Right.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I mean, you can, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like, damn. Okay. You definitely don't think I can find somebody and be engaged in a year because you didn't do it. Okay. You didn't do it. So does that mean since you don't believe it's possible that it can't happen for me? That a man can't show up and see that I am a prize? That I deserve better in a year? Because you saying, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. And mama's like, yeah, game is not.
I mean, you're a woman. I get it. But
I know for a fact that like it's cool, but I'm just saying, I mean, she asked the question.
Yeah, well, no, because we were talking about like, I don't know what led me to this. Something led me to that. Oh, about you getting married or whatever. Because then I thought about you. I was like, oh, how about if, one day you get married, how would you feel? Because for me, it's like, I would love for Carl to get married. I would love for him to get married. And
making it about yourself. Let me skip ahead.
And relationships go through things, right? And you're a Sagittarius and you are a little fiery at times. And then you're not going to pick some scrawny little nigga who ain't a man. So you're going to pick a manly man. And men do shit sometimes. And you might have a shouting match. Couples kind of shout at each other sometimes, right? Especially when
that's not healthy. Not healthy. If you're in a relationship with someone, they're shouting at you, leave. Think about a plan B. Okay. Conversations should never get to the point where you're shouting. But then again, I feel like people lack emotional intelligence to recognize I deserve better. I listened to my mama yell at my daddy. I listened to my daddy yell at my mama. It was a normalcy in my house. So it's normal now in my house with my kids. And that's how the generational pattern continues Oh, because showering is okay. Things get fiery. Let's put some sugar on it. Okay. Things get fiery, don't they?
Fiery. And Leo hears a man shouting at you, but he's little, right? So he can't really do nothing. He tells his dad, Jerome's over here shouting at my mama, and Carl is like, not far. Carl gonna come over here in the defense of you.
Now I really want to find a clip where he talk about he not doing no diapers. Okay. He not changing no diapers. Another Nelly situation. All right. What's with these men not want to change diapers? Why is that a woman's job? Why is that a woman's job?
And Rachel, remember I told you I don't change diapers? Have I changed one? See, she don't like that shit.
She don't want to admit that on the podcast. She's like, oh, damn. Okay. Oh, damn.
By the way.
No, I really feel like if you have a child and you are more than able, your hands are working, your fingers are fine, you have no arthritis, that you are more than able to wipe your, help and wipe your child's ass too, if you can wipe your own. Because you, when he's 50, let's say, what are you going to be, 112? You might...
He won't be alive.
Need someone to wipe yours.
I got all of them.
Yeah. And God willing, he does it. But did you wipe his? Yeah, this is all, it comes around.
Yeah, but I did tell you I don't change diapers from the beginning, before he was born. Did you think it was gonna change? Like I would actually flip and do it?
I
did. Come on, y'all. He planted the seed and you help water it. He told you from the beginning, I'm not doing that shit. I didn't do it in the past. I'm not going to do it with you. But the thing is, you thought he would change for you. But he told you, he planted the seed. Once again, y'all be watering cement. This is another situation of watering cement. Okay? Listen at the beginning. When they tell you what they gonna not do, don't go to, well, it will change. Once he lay eyes on the baby, once he come around, the game has 3 other kids. Okay. Look at that. I would also like to know, maybe your mama might know. Okay. Was he changing them diapers? What's the first woman's name? Tiffany? Was he changing the diapers of Tiffany? I think, what do you got? 2 with Tiffany and then 1 other one? Was he changing them diapers with the other ones? Okay. But it's sad to watch this horror movie. It's sad to watch her be embarrassed. It's sad to watch her mother laugh and kiki as she continues to be disrespected. And this is all a joke, all a game. She fell for the game. Not the game, the person, but the game he was giving her. And it's sad because Shanice is a lot of women. Okay, a lot of women who think your mama is there for you, but your mama is there for shits and giggles. And, unpopular opinion, her mama is part of the problem. Okay, it's really sad, y'all. It's really sad. And this is a person that, although I say the next, 17 years that you're going to have to parent together, parenting is for life. It don't stop when that baby turns 18. It don't stop when the baby is 15 with a phone and can call a day themselves. It continues. And I hope for Shanice, she has better supports. Oh, God. She has better support. Because as she's sitting here, like this comment says, on the verge of tears, her mom and the game are like, we get drinks after this. Okay. So sad. Okay. But moving on to our next segment, and women who are male-centered. Okay, let's roll tape. Okay, let's roll tape.
Divorce is just, it's experiencing death alive.
Everybody I talk to that has been through it says that same thing.
Yes.
Like, and I have not even married, so I haven't been through the first part. But I think for someone who hasn't been, it's hard to even understand the depths of it.
I'm so glad that instead of yesing me to death or like agreeing, like that you would admit that, because there's no way. There's no way to understand it. There's no way to understand that feeling of space.
Where was this same energy after your first divorce? Let me remind y'all, this is her second divorce. The energy was not there when your first husband moved on to that lady and had a child with that lady after saying he didn't want kids. Okay. I don't like Jeannie Mai, and I'm going to keep it real. The relationship with her daughter at times is cringy and weird. I need her to move past the relationship is over. They have divorced. Why does it continue to be about Jeezy? Okay. Why does it continue? It's starting to feel like I don't know who I am or who my brand is outside of that man. Who I was comfortable with on the side and decide, oh, maybe I might want some dark meat on my plate. Okay, after saying for so long, dark meat is only good when it's undercover or like not seen, some bullshit like that. Okay. But Jeannie Mai is codependent on being the victim of this relationship. You know, being the victim of a divorce. That Jeezy was a bad person. Okay. He was a bad person. The guns, he had guns around our daughter in the house. He won't let me come in and get my stuff. So now all of that has passed. What else can I do? Oh, now I can just go on a media run discussing grief related to divorce. And now grief is true. Grief does come with divorce. Grief comes with losing friendships, memories, the joy you thought you would have with that person, the one parent household you never thought you'd have a child having to be split between two different households. So yes, there is a lot of grief in that. But at the same time, every time I hear from Jeannie Mai, it's about Jeezy. Okay. What happened to the girl who was on that styling show years ago, who was styling people? But it just feels like she's codependent on not people, places, and things, but on this narrative. Okay. And I want y'all to recognize codependent relationships are just not about people. It can also be about narratives. It could also be about themes in my life. But I think there's an opportunity here to grow and evolve past this divorce. But for some reason, I have to hold on to it because who am I outside of being married to Jeezy? You had so much other things going on. But it feels like at times she is determined to make him seem like he's a bad man. But he wasn't bad when you were doing all these photo shoots with him. Y'all were traveling around the world, going to award shows. Y'all had the elaborate wedding. But now he's a bad man and he's a dangerous man. Okay. He's a dangerous Black man.
Shared with somebody and all of a sudden it closing in to where you even wonder if you can trust yourself and your thoughts, because one day you had a plan and you had these thoughts and then something becomes something else. There's also the not knowing every day, because divorce does this inhumane thing that forces you to then protect yourself to get what you need from the divorce.
That's so well said. I haven't heard anybody say that.
It's the worst. It's the worst because it's like
survival mode.
Yes. Yeah. You literally have to take your grief and put on your hard hat and go right into I'm going to fight for everything I've got. I'm going to fight for everything I deserve. And it's like the worst transition.
What she's saying is accurate. It is true. Now, from what I remember from their divorce, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think they had went through a separation, and she was under the impression that they were still going to try and make it work. But then she suddenly got hit with these divorce papers, I believe, from Jeezy. And it seemed like based off of the way things were handled, he had been planning this for quite some time. Okay. So I wonder if it's also a power play. I'm bitter that he held the power in choosing to divorce me, and I didn't make it to the court first, or whatever it is. But what she's saying is accurate. I want to see more of a narrative of taking some accountability and discussing what are the things I contribute to where our relationship got to. But it just feels like it's always about Jeezy being wrong, pointing the finger. But in relationships, I always say, it takes two people to get to a place where that's a good place in a relationship or a bad place. I feel like each person has to take some accountability, whether that's I didn't communicate my needs, I lost myself in the relationship, I didn't verbalize things. No matter what it is, we both got to this place together. And I think it's unfortunate that people choose to point the finger instead of let's reflect. Let me see how I can be a better person for myself, for my children, so that I can show up better for me as I evolve and grow into a better person. And that pours back into my relationship with my kids and maybe someday a relationship with another person. But over and over again, it's just Jeezy is the problem. Jeezy is a bad person. Jeezy is a dangerous Black man. And I think these narratives by people outside of our community are very hurtful. When for the longest time, he was my king. Okay. I decided I wanted to have a child after not wanting a child. He was my everything. And there's also that. I had all these these things, this joy, these memories, these aspirations, and you took that from me. Okay. You took that from me. And maybe in some ways it makes her feel better to blame him. She also started using a lot of therapy speak wrong.
Took intensity for intimacy.
You wrote on social that you mistook chaos for love.
Yes.
What part of you was drawn to the chaos?
Well, I've learned
So Jeezy is the chaos, I guess.
that the dialogue between you and your parents or your caretakers, if all of it was tumultuous or like erratic, there's this thing called the ACEs in there.
ACEs. It's called the ACEs, y'all. Please get it correct. If you're going to use therapy speak, if you're going to use it to justify your actions, if you're just going to use it in general, please do it right. It's called the ACEs Index. Okay. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, a Black woman is the one who was able to get to like become more popular through her TED Talk. And it's a I don't want to say a survey, but it's this assessment that we use as therapists. And the more boxes you check off, the more things you have been through in your life, the ACEs determines, the more of these things you've experienced in your life, the shorter lifespan you will have. Okay. I give it to my clients when I'm doing intake. I think it's something that everyone should look into because it says a lot about your life and you can learn a lot about yourself. But it's called the ACEs.
Therapy, get to know the checklist. It's a crazy checklist of like all the things that can bring you trauma or dysregulation in relationships. If you have any of those things, you're probably going to be capable of being attracted to chaos later on. Girl, I had every box ticked, every single one of incarceration.
That's not exactly what it means, but okay.
Sexual abuse, alcohol, physical abuse. When you have generations that don't know how to communicate and how to handle breakage and things like that, it can pass down to how we communicate with each other.
Now, it would be great if like she went on interviews and she talked more about those things, be more vulnerable about the things that she's gone through, Asian culture and how, those different relationship dynamics, also how hard it probably was to blend different cultures into a family and a household. I believe she allegedly moved her mother in, and I think that also may have caused some dynamics in her marriage, but use the therapy speak right if you're going to use it to help you have this narrative about yourself. Okay. But we are living in a generation where I think women are male centered and have to have this narrative that I'm the victim. at least in this situation. It's unfortunate that with Shanice and her mother, I hope that there's growth there. I hope that there can come a time when she's not sitting on the couch doing that podcast and her mom is laughing at her. All right. But Jeannie Mai, I don't like you. I'll be honest. Okay. I don't like her. Okay. We have to stop being victims. There's only so long you can use the divorce was devastating, the things I've been through, sexual trauma, chaos. What are we going to do about that now that we're adults? What's the work we're willing to do on ourselves so that we don't pour that into our children? Okay. Both these situations, they both have one child. Shanice, Jeannie Mai has one child. Okay. And I wonder about the pressures put on those children being, I don't want to say solo children, but being the only child. I know Blaze has siblings, but you know what I mean. And how the thing that their mothers need to work on might be poured down into them. Okay, please choose therapy. Choose therapy before you have kids. Recognize you don't want to bring that stuff into your own like dynamic. You don't want to bring that into the utero and have your baby swimming and all that. Okay. But these are just my little quick thoughts on both these podcasts. A lot of similarities. A lot of growth can be heard here. Or not heard, can be had here. And I want to know from you guys, would you learn by yourselves? It's sad to watch Shanice. It's irritating to watch Jeannie Mai. You guys know I'm gonna keep it real over here. So I need y'all to hit that like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, hype up this video. Let me know if you want to see a couples therapist react to more relationship dynamics from podcasts and TV. And if you like that kind of stuff, stay and subscribe to the channel. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye.